The next question that we have to discuss is again asking about the endangered category. Consider the following fauna in India: gharial, leatherback turtle, swamp deer. Which of the above is endangered? That is the question. So let's have a look. First, let's look at this gharial. Let's learn a little bit about it. Gharial is primarily a category of a crocodile species. When you look at gharial in India, gharial happens to have it keeps fluctuating between endangered, critically endangered status. So yes, it has an endangered quality to it. It keeps getting hunted down. Now, one other reason why also the populations would be coming down is the habitats of gharials happen to mostly be tributaries of Ganga. When the Ganga gets polluted, that causes the death of gharials also. Okay, because this is primarily a fresh water crocodile. It needs water that is very less of impurities, very less of pollutions, very good water for its growth. So what happens over here is, with these addition of acids and different kinds of salts, the nature and the pH level of the water changes. This impacts the life of the gharials. Now, when I'm talking about the gharials, it's important to understand the one major area in India where gharials are occurring in large numbers is your Chambal Wildlife Sanctuary. Okay, Chambal Wildlife Sanctuary and the area around it is basically occurring at a tri-junction point. It has parts of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. Okay, Chambal primarily occurs at that tri-junction point. Obviously, Chambal, when I'm saying Chambal Wildlife Sanctuary, I hope you do realize it is on the areas of your Chambal River also, and the Chambal River is where your gharial occurs. Okay, so that's one major area where the gharial population is there. Coming to the other areas, there is another wildlife sanctuary called as your Katarni Ghat Wildlife Sanctuary. In the Katharni Ghat, the crocodile occurs in the river called as your Girva. Okay. Apart from this, gharial is also seen in the rivers of Son, in the Satkosya National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary area. Okay. In all of these areas, you do see the gharial. But again, as I told you, it's a very indicative species of the quality of the water. If the water gets polluted, the species gets affected, and it is now affected in that manner. So yes, gharial is endangered. If gharial is endangered, you're left with 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 3, thereby making us understand that yes, the leatherback turtle does have a problem. Yeah, leatherback turtle could very well be endangered, because now when you're looking at it, 2 is common to both the options. But I just want to add few points about the leatherback turtle. The leatherback turtle is one of the largest turtle species that is seen in India. One major area where you do see the leatherback turtle or the great leatherback turtle is in this area called as your Galathea Bay, which is in your Andaman and Nicobar Island group. Okay, so yes, when you look at it, you do understand the leatherback turtle. As I already showed in this, second option is there. It occurs only in Andaman, and you do not have a wide area, and in Andaman you do not have much external areas of interference or anything, but still, because it's quite isolated, naturally in the evolution process their numbers are quite low. Coming to the swamp deer. The swamp deer is widely located in India. In fact, you have 3 different types of swamp deer called as your the western swamp deer, the southern swamp deer and the eastern swamp deer. You have different categories of swamp deer, and the populations of the swamp deer are quite intact. If you remember, previously when we were solving this particular question which had a number of species written in it, and I told you here, I said snow leopard, yes, it is endangered and everything. But you remember, I didn't mark anything for the swamp deer, rhesus monkey and Sarus crane. If you take that in your mind itself, you would know here that your swamp deer will not be a endangered species. The answer to your question is A, 1 and 2. Moving forward, again, we are asking a question about which of the above are naturally found in India. And there is star tortoise, monitor lizard, pygmy hog, spider monkey. Let me just tell you, out of these, leave the topic of this question, but in general also, if I had to tell you one super important species for this particular year, it's the third one, which is called as a pygmy hog. So now coming to your pygmy hog, it is a species that is endemic to India. And in India itself, right now it occurs only in your Manas National Park, which is in Assam. Okay, so it's very rare occurrence. So no points for guessing. Yes, it is critically endangered. Next important thing is, this is one of those very interesting mammal species, which it, just like a human, it builds a home. And not just a hole or anything. It builds a complete home that has a roof and a full setup that is there for it to live. It's one of the tiniest, as you can see, pygmy hog is actually a pig species. It's the smallest pig species that is there. And it puts all of this and makes this home for it to inhabit. So these are all the important features of it, and it is endemic to our country. So as I just told you, it's naturally found in our country. Okay, so third option should be correct, but that will not help us much because the only option I can cut then is this one. All the others have 3 in it. Also, now when I'm looking at it, I do realize all the others also have 2 in it. So 2 and 3 is common in all the options. So let's say monitor lizard and pygmy hog occurs naturally in our country. Now coming about the star tortoise and the spider monkey. This is where our next, we have to figure out if it's there or not. And this is where you understand. I do not know how many of you have seen this, but in certain, whenever they do these customs check and everything, the reason I could answer this question is because of that. Why? Because I've seen people in India try to sell off this star tortoise illegally. They smuggle it out of the country, etc. And, they say that it has some very, very devotional properties, very, it's spiritual properties, etc. And they try to sell it off in other countries. And most of the time when the customs catches it, they put it out in a proper news saying that, yes, these many people were caught with they were trying to take the star tortoise away, they were trying to smuggle it out of the country, etc. So now, I do know for a fact that because if it is happening so much in our country, yes, it could be naturally found in our country, and maybe that in some other country, it might not be naturally found. That is why they are taking it away from our country and putting it out there illegally. Okay. So yes, star tortoise also fits the bill. Now again, when I'm looking at it, I can say 1 should be part of your answer. So this is gone. So it's now either A or D. And now for that last part, you need to know about the spider monkey. The spider monkey is not a species that occurs in India naturally. In fact, the spider monkey occurs in certain areas of Central America and South America. Okay, so your answer to this particular question is 1, 2 and 3. Moving forward, consider the following animals: sea cow, sea horse, sea lion. Which of the above is a mammal or are mammals? Now again, here when it comes to this, one thing that can be a very obvious elimination is seahorse, because seahorse, we all have seen the pictures of it and everything. Seahorse is a type of a fish species. So though it's called horse and all, it's not anything to do with the mammal species that is there. It is a fish species. You are eliminating 2. When you eliminate 2, You're left with 1 only, 1 and 3. Now here you need to know both sea cow and sea lion, both are mammal species. Why do you think they asked this question? It's only before that they asked about this specific animal called as your dugong. Okay. And dugong's other name is sea cow. Obviously, when you are going and trying to study sea cow, you would have had to do a little bit of research extra to it. Understand? That is from where this question stems as to what are the different, or are any of these any mammals. So just have a look at this.